Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Indonesia-Cambodia Youth Initiative Program. In this time, we will already in fifth webinar session. We'll be talking about COVID-19 crisis and challenge for tourism development in Indonesia and Cambodia. First of all, I would like to thank you very much to all speakers, to moderator, to the committee, and also to all the participants for joining this webinar session. Thank you very much and enjoy your webinar and take more benefits, take more knowledge from this webinar. And also, I would like to welcome you guys in this fifth webinar session. And we have three speakers. Two speakers come from Indonesia, one speaker is the guest speakers, and one speaker is Indonesian speakers, and also they are Cambodia speakers, representative of Cambodia. And then this webinar session will be running at about 2 hours until 5 p.m. And we will hear the opening remarks by Ruang International representative from Ms. Aprilia Damarani as the Public Relations Manager of Ruang International. And also, uh, this webinar session will be moderated by Mr. No Nave from Cambodia as the founder and executive director of International. So, uh, I invite to Ms. Aprilia to deliver their opening remarks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to Mr. Stanley. Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you're healthy and full of happiness. Thank you for this webinar. I have the opportunity to give an opening remarks in ICYIP Season 5 with topic COVID-19 crisis and challenge for tourism development in Indonesia and Cambodia. Thank you for moderator Mr. Nonevi and guest speaker to Ms. Nova Fardera Lestari and our speaker Mr. Arif Bakhtiar from Indonesia and Mr. Uy Makara from Cambodia, and also for all participants who attend this webinar. Um, and this webinar talking about the topic it's COVID-19 crisis, and it will be challenging for tourism development, especially Indonesia and Cambodia. In my opinion, tourism is one of the most important sector of every country to have the economy, especially Indonesia. COVID-19 requires us to stay we cannot to do activities as usual. Everything is limited, and it's not only destroy our activities, but also the economic of the country in tourism, especially Indonesia and Cambodia. And this the opening remarks that I could give. Have a nice discussion, and thank you. Now I return to MC. Please, Mr. Jenly, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Aprilia, for the remarks. And once again, I would like to invite all participants to open your video, and also mute your audio during the webinar. And then for this time, I would like to introduce our moderator for this session. So wait a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, our moderator come from Cambodia, and so I need to welcome the moderator to you all in one slide. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Is clear, right? Okay. Yeah. I would like to introduce our moderator for this fifth webinar session. He is No Nave. He is founder and executive director of Ruang International Cambodia, and also he is the project leader associate of Indonesia-Cambodia Youth Initiative Program, or ICYIP 2021. And he also as the bachelor student in tourism management at Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia. And also he has many model United Nations experience, like he present as the national representative of Cambodia at the DPSG International Immune in 2020, and he also as the brand ambassador at Global Empowerment MUN, and he also as the youth ambassador at Global Diplomats MUN, and he also as the campus ambassador of at Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia. He also is the regional director of Noble Youth International MUN at Cambodia. So please welcome Mr. Nonafe. I give this time and this chance to you.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much, Mr. Chen Li, for introduce myself. Because it is the time limit, I will start right now with our webinar. The first of all, I would like to introduce for the speaker. Today we have 3 speakers from 2 countries. The first speaker, I would like to introduce Ms. Nofa Farida Lestari. He is an executive director of Indonesia Hidden Heritage on Institute that contribute on development, promoting, marketing heritage destination. And she also bachelor degree in law from University of Indonesia. And for her international experience, like alumni of Australia Indonesia Youth Exchange Program 2004, alumni of ASEAN Japanese Asia Network of Exchange for Southeast Asia Youth 2009, and she also participated in FCO UK programs and project management 2017. And next, I would like to introduce the second speaker. Second speaker from Cambodia. He is Oi Magra. Mr. Oi Magra, right now, he is a bachelor student in law at the University of Cambodia. He also is an English teacher at Visal Phiep International School and PPI USE Institute, and he participated in a public speaking workshop for 4 months and was second plus winner in competition. And also he is participated in leadership course for 4 months at Science University, and based on even seminar about leadership at UC. And the last speaker, I would like to introduce Mr. Arif Bakshita. Mr. Arif Bakshita, he is from Indonesia. Right now, he is a travel blogger, a tour guide, and a journalist environmentalist. His bachelor degree in public administration from Universitas Teleko, and he also owner Palu Kali syllabus tour. He is a web content writer at Universitas Telugu and Dinas Pariwisata Provinsi Sulawesi Tenggara, and he also ASEAN Youth Ambassador 2017, and he also alumni of Australia Award 2017. And so this time is I would like to invite the first speaker, Ms. Nofa Farida Lester, to take the presentation. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon. I'm Nova Wajir from Indonesia Hidden Heritage from Jakarta. Happy to see you. It's so exciting to see young people interested in tourism and what is its impact on the COVID-19 pandemic. So, as you know, that the COVID-19 pandemic has been an issue worldwide, and definitely it has a very huge impact on tourism. As we can see on a previous video where lots of people making a statement, there is a statement, official statement from OECD, official statement from another part of the globe about what's been happening and how the pandemic impact their country. So before we talk more about how is it going on in Indonesia or how is it going in Southeast Asia, we would like to introduce you about what we're doing as an association, what we have been done, and what actually we do for the last 2 years. So I would like to have Wulan, but Wulan help to share some
Hello.
profile and material
Okay.
about what actually Indonesia Hidden Heritage is doing.
Uh, can someone make me a co-host because I would like to share documents?
Don't miss one.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Mbak Nova.
Okay, thank you. So we're just going to be informal. This is going to be fun, relaxed. So don't be too stiff. Okay, who we are. So this is Indonesia Hidden Heritage. We currently we're working on a promoting heritage tourism to support the Indonesian tourism overall. Next, Mbak Nolan.
Yes.
So our main work is to unlocking Indonesia heritage tourism potential, and we've been doing it for the last 2 years, since last 3 years actually, since the end of the 2018. Next agenda. Okay. We're basically funded in 2018, so we're pretty young. Basically, we're just at first, we are a group of people who loves traveling, who loves heritage, who loves culture. And we're an avid travelers. We travel everywhere around the globe, especially me and Wulan. We've been traveling almost every countries in the world. Unless we have some like an issue with visa, a country that is very difficult to go with your standard visa, so we're not visiting yet like North Korea and stuff. Uh, from a community who loves to travel, who loves heritage and love culture, we move into an institution who basically provide an insight about trend of the tourism, how we can unlock the heritage tourism potential. Because we see that whenever people come to a country, what they actually enjoy is the culture and the nature and the style, the lifestyle of the people, the culinary, the friendliness. So basically, it's the heritage. Next, what we're doing is like we develop, we promote, and we also market the heritage and historical landmarks. In Indonesia, it's like a huge work because Indonesia has a very rich landscape about heritage. So this is like just a brief about why we're doing the heritage tourism and why it matters for Indonesia and actually why it matters for the world. Mbak Ulan, next aja. So we have a team in our association. So it's not like an NGO. It's more like a creative hub where young people comes and young people give their insight, and where Wulan and I usually engage with the government, and the other seniors are engaged with the businesses and with other communities. Next. So we have 3 core activities, which is heritage destination research and development. We have heritage sites promotions and marketing, and we also have heritage tour package. So basically, we are not only doing a research, not only doing a market analysis, but we also helping to make a tour package for a local government. So far we have 61 heritage tour package in Indonesia. We have established a merchant partner as well with heritage-based business, and we are having a research institution partner. Next, we're also a official museum partner for like most of the museum in South Sumatra, because South Sumatra is our first pilot project to develop the heritage tourism potential. This is the networking where we usually work. So it's like mostly it's a ministry and then the government's local government's network, and some of you can also see here some of the organizations related to cultures and heritage. So this is basically what we're doing in a brief. Thank you, Mbak Wulan. You can stop share.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to present a 5-minute video later on. So what will be happen in this 20-minute presentation? I already introduced our organizations, and then we're going to see a 5-minute videos later on, and then later again we will talk about what's happening actually in Southeast Asia and what's happening in the world in Southeast Asia and in Indonesia, and how actually we can support with each other, and what kinds of initiative that has been taken by each government. So I hope I can pull in the pack because the time is so limited. So we're going to see a video about tourism in Bali nowadays. I'm going to start screen, so manage with me for a bit. Hopefully the computer sound is running well.
Bali is one of the world's most popular holiday destinations. But has it become a victim of its own success?
Tourism start to explode. More people's coming in from outside than the people's living in here.
Decades of unhinged tourist development has come at a cost.
The island of gods had become the island of trash.
Now, mostly closed to the outside world, does Bali have a chance for change? A chance to reset?
Bali tourism industry based on these two things, nature and culture. We cannot sacrifice them.
Normal temperature. Please wear a mask.
I arrive in Bali via a domestic flight from Indonesia's capital, Jakarta. For almost a year, the international airport has been shut. Tourism has come to a grinding halt.
Please wear a mask.
Walking through the international airport here, a place I've been through many times in my life, is just quite surreal. It's normally bustling with international tourists coming to the island of the gods, but today, it's so quiet, I can hear the air conditioner. It's the only sound.
Tapi kita prediksi akan bisa mencapai 7 juta di tahun 2020. So kita mempunyai prediction yang sangat bagus sekali di tahun 2000. Dan kemudian masuk bulan Maret, setelah banyak negara lockdown pada waktu itu, finally akhirnya kita zero. Tidak ada flight ke Bali sama sekali.
Over the past decade, the number of visitors to the island grew rapidly, from 2 to 6 million. Around 80% of the Balinese economy was generated by tourism.
So when the pariwisata stop, so kita betul-betul merasakan susah di Bali.
Bali has been shut before. The 2002 Kuta bombings and the erratic eruptions of Volcano Agung hurt the tourism industry, but ultimately it bounced back. This time, no one knows when the pandemic will end.
In the beginning, we thought this is going to be 1 month, 2 months maximum.
It's now been 12 months. For Marcelo Ariafara and the lifeguards of Kuta Beach, their job has changed dramatically.
50 people, not 50,000 as normally. 50 people, maximum 100, include the lifeguard. The beach are dead. There's no activity. Lifeguard still come. If something happen, lifeguard have to be there. Ready? Go! The activity of the lifeguard never stop.
Gas, 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 gas.
This beach is usually crammed with tourists, touts and hawkers. Today, Kuta and nearby Seminyak are empty.
People who sell massage or merchandise in the beach, I heard they all go back home to their village. A very sad situation because many friends of mine, I don't see them around. I hope they're okay, you know. I hope they're still all right.
For the past year, government handouts have helped, but they haven't gone far enough. The Balinese are relying on each other to make sure those going without get fed.
Ibu, sini Bu. I'm giving the food to the man need the food and some homeless people in Bali. Terima kasih, ini Bu ya. I had to the shop, but I lost everything. But I'm happy to be giving all the free food. I'm so happy. I'm glad for that. The thing is, need to be grateful what we have at the moment.
Thank you.
Balinese people, we always pray and we believe in the God. Thank you.
Today I am selling here, and I hope tomorrow will be better. Yeah, tomorrow will be better. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, that's a brief snapshot about what's been happening in Bali. And I'm pretty sure it's happening all around the globe. It's happening in every part of the world. Why I choose Bali here is not because we're talking about Indonesia and Cambodia, but Bali is actually one of the international tourism face in the world, one of the well-known one. And if a place like Bali, who is internationally recognized as one of the best tourism spot in the world, is empty, you can imagine how it impact in other part of the world. So it's really, really horrid, the impact of the COVID these days. And before that, we're going to see a couple of the data later on and how you can make a comparisons between before and after the pandemic. As you know that Indonesia might not the largest tourism destination in Southeast Asia. Thailand is number one and following with Malaysia. Indonesia is relatively at the middle one, and although Bali is like number one tourism spot in some of the articles, but in reality there are only 16 million people come to Indonesia every year, so it's very low compared to what happens in Thailand. So in Southeast Asia, the crown goes to Thailand, and Thailand now is like slowly recovering the process, and hopefully they can also open the tourism doors again, and Indonesia still lag behind. We have lots of homework to do before we can open our tourism gate again. I'm going to share a couple of documents, so bear with me. We're going to see the static, we're going to see the data from couple of consultant firms about what's been happening in the world and what's been happening in Southeast Asia, and also what actually happening in Indonesia in this 2021. I'm going to share screen again. Hopefully there will be no problem with the screen. Let's see. Let me know cannot see the screen, we're going to first see. So this journal I take from UNWTO. So Indonesia Hidden Heritage, we always see what's been going on worldwide. We subscribe to the official journal of UNWTO. We subscribe to official journal as well, issued by other tourism consultant firm to see the trend and to see what's going on. And if you see here, the data show that the international tourism expected to decline over 70% in 2020, back to the levels of 30 years ago, which is the assumptions is correct. If later on I'll show you the data of Indonesia Tourism Ministry that shows the tourism decrease is really an issue. Indonesia, the COVID has impact really hard in Indonesian tourism. Like it's really, really horrible. And when we are thinking about the loss of the tourism, it's actually, we're not only thinking, oh, the tourism stop, oh, there is no flight, international flight coming to my country, there is no people roaming around, and there is no tourist activities. But the horrible impact of this is people lost their job, as you can see in the video. People who lives in a place like Bali, who depends on the tourism, where the tourism goes down to almost zero nowadays, definitely, because Indonesia now put a policy to restrict all the movement in Jawa, in Bali. Even the domestic people cannot go. So what happened is people lost their job, people lost their economic purchase power. Basically, people are suffering if they don't have any saving. Maybe they can still do something, but it's like very limited for people who really rely on tourism. If we can see it here, World Tourism Barometer, this is issued on December 2020. Now it's already goes to the mid 2021, and actually the condition is not really that improving, apart from what happened in France and what happened in Spain. If you see in some of the videos recently, French already opened their tourism again, and then Spain also recovering and opening their tourism gate again. Apart from those countries who already decide to open their gate, most of the tourism in the world, they still lock their door closely. And if you get notice, in Indonesia, now we facing a second phase of the coronavirus, and then the number of the people who fell sick or who plunged into that, we can say, who passed away is really, really high, the number. So it's really still not the best time to open a tourism yet for now, in Indonesia especially. So this is actually a raw data about what's happening all around the world on the late 2020, and you can see here that international tourist arrivals, like overnight visitors, people who only visit for 1 or 2 days, or like over a weekend for a weekend escape, dropped by 72% in January till October 2020. This is also the same year when the Indonesia tourism activities stopped. I still remember we still have some activities going on February and March, but after that we really stopped all of the tourism activities after March, because that's when Indonesia identified that the coronavirus has been found in Indonesia, and the measures are taken to prevent the further spread of the disease, but it fails. And we know until now the governments and the people are struggles to make a better condition for the pandemic to be over. And then obviously, because of this thing, the decline in international tourism in 2020 is like very prominent. It's equivalent to loss about 1 billion arrival and a 1.1 trillion US dollar in international tourism receipt. This, if you want more detail about the information, you can go to UNWTO. They provide every country and what kind of tourism receipts that it lost, and another data that you can also extract from that for free. Now we will see the next is how does it impact the Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia, as we know, is one of the hub of tourism in Asia as well. Every country has their own uniqueness. Apart from we are studying almost similar culture in Southeast Asia, but every country has their own landmarks and has their own story about the history and heritage that they sell to the tourism industry. So we have fellow from Cambodia who will talk about Cambodia later on. So I will skip that, but I will just going to show you what's been happening in Southeast Asia. So if you see the data here, this is a couple of data from Cambodia, and as well as you can see the data from Indonesia, and there is a data from Laos, and this is Malaysia, what's been happening in Malaysia. You can scroll and see Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. I think for now, like the country in Southeast Asia who is half ready to open their border again are Singapore and Thailand because of the success of the vaccinations in their country. Like Vietnam is following as well. I think the reason why this is like very lengthy report, like 151 pages. So I'm not going to go through it all. I'm just going to go for what has been happening in Indonesia. But if you want to see this document later on, I can share you, and you can just like read it for your information. So we're going to see what's been happening in Indonesia. Okay, so we're going to see here just the key insights about what's been happening in Indonesia. For the predictions on 2020, before what we see in UNWTO, they predict about 70% drop, but actually in 2020 in Indonesia, it's like 71% 0.03 drop. So it's not really that much different. It's close to the predictions. Indonesia until now closed all our borders to foreign visitor except for official visits. So there is no tourism activities from foreign tourism. So it's like really, really, really clock in Indonesia. We still open the domestic flights, but again, it's only for essential activities, not for tourism purpose. Especially during this month, it's heavily locked from Java to Bali. We cannot move anywhere, so we are strongly advised to stay at home. We strongly advise travel from home, which means that you can traveling, but you're doing it from digital way. So you can just doing the virtual traveling for now, at least. And the lockdown status here, we're not doing any lockdown, but we're doing partial lockdown. I will say partial lockdown because like there is a restriction there, but basically you can still go to work, you can still go to buying groceries. You are not locked in your home, but you're not advised to do anything that is not essential. And all the tourism places are closed, like really closed. You cannot go to restaurant because restaurants only for takeaways. But as you know, some people are still there, still do some visits. But most of the time, if you see in the news in Indonesia, currently nowadays people just stay home and didn't go anywhere. This is like the consumer sentiments, and then you can also see the statistic about Indonesia tourism arrival, which is I don't think nowadays there is an arrival of tourism, especially on June to July. June maybe still people go somewhere, but July, since the 1st of July, we already applied the restrictions movement for people to visit Java and Bali. So I don't think people go for tourism activities. This is all the data that we can see. All the data shows that there is like a very enormous decrease on people movement for tourism. Yeah, who wants to visit when everything is still as shady as it is during the impact of the COVID-19? But there is some of initiative that has been taken by Indonesian's government. Lots of initiative actually for government to boost again the tourism sectors. There are lots of competition for supporting the growth of economic creative industry, which heavily linked to the tourism. And then Indonesia's government also opened a movement like working from Bali, which is now it's on hold because of the current condition where the number of the people who is affected by the virus is increasing almost uncontrollable. But we are working on that to prevent more spread. This is like the headlines, what's been going on per dates until end of June. Let's see what's been happening. Like we have no like in some countries there is a travel bubbles agreement. We don't have any travel bubbles agreement for now because Indonesia it's still on a heavily homework to do the vaccination for the for its citizens. So if let me see if there is a data here. Basically, there is a data in a summary that shows that apart from the homework on reviving the economic creative sector to boost the tourism industry, they actually what's been more important about this is the vaccination process. Because if you see what's happening in French when they open again their border for tourism as well as Spain, they have a courage to that because like most of their citizens already got vaccinated, so they are moving into the herd community. So herd immunity, sorry, they are moving into herd immunity, and that can't be happening yet in Indonesia because as you see the summary here, by ending Sunday 27 June, which is quite recently, we only have a 4.72% fully vaccinated for the population in Indonesia. And you know that Indonesia is number 4 in the world in terms of population, so we are a very huge country and we have a very huge homework as well to do the vaccinations. And we actually have a target of 72.4%, but unfortunately until now it's only like 4.72% that's been going on for vaccination. Compared to Cambodia, the Cambodia is higher. Cambodian people, Cambodian government successfully vaccinated their citizens by 16%. So it's like very huge difference. But once again, the numbers of the people who lives in Cambodia and the number of the people who lives in Indonesia, like very much different. We cannot go apple to apple with that. But if we want to scroll around the data here, we can see that Singapore is on a very successful rate compared to other countries in Southeast Asia. So this is like for your key insight and information and summary about what's been happening in Southeast Asia, which country that is ready to go for tourism and which country that's still under supervisions like Indonesia. We are still under restrictions to do any tourism activities. If we see here, I'll show you another report. This is from McKinsey. So according to the research conducted by McKinsey, the most positive, I would say the most positive predictions, the recovery will be happening on 2023 to 2024, which it will take another 2 years from now. Like this is something that we need to note down, that the recovery will be quite slow because what's been happening, it's unprecedented. Like we don't expect this to happen. It's just falling. It's just happened, and most of the country are not ready to experience or to manage like this huge huge calamity, like in a big scale like this. This kind of pandemic is the first in a modern. I think, like, if you see back into the history, there is a Spanish flu at that time, like in the beginning of 20th centuries. But what's been happening is way different with what's been happening now. So in this, the pandemic in this scale, it's the first in this modern history. So you can see here, they identify there will be a slow long-term growth and slow recovery, but hopefully will be strong rebound as well. We still, this is the most likely scenario for COVID impact on global GDP and global tourism scenarios as well. This is very interesting, which I 100% agree that even in more optimistic scenario, the top 10 countries will still make a loss on tourism, including Indonesia. So it is expected that we're going to be in a very challenging moment, but we actually, during this pandemic time, it's a time for us to review our tourism policy and to strengthen our tourism creativity. So later on the 2023, when it's hopefully open again, when everything is on a much better environment, much better condition, we can go ahead with a great strategy for reviving the tourism sector again. So what's the expert says, what should we do for now, what should we prepare to welcoming 2023, hopefully when the pandemic is like already diminished or gone, like 70% gone, because like this virus will not be 100% gone from our life. So we have to live with this virus. So they suggest couples of things, and this is also actually things that we do in Indonesia Hidden Heritage. We find a niche in a tourism sectors that is more personal and private, related to the cultural experience. If you see here, what we can do to recover from like what the tourism industry needs to pay attention, it's more into the culture and creativity. So we need to offer like more personal experience in terms of creating a heritage experience for the people later on who will come, because it's no longer going to be the same like the previous tourism conditions. People will be still aware. So apart from the uniqueness experience that is offered by the travel and tour company, which there is Mas Arif here, one of the representative from tourism and travel company. Later on, he can also share his experience. So there will be a uniqueness that needs to be offered, a personal tailor-made experience on culture and heritage, adventure, and then we need to make it to ensure the relevant culture in the emergency and contingency planning within tourism destinations. Currently, if you see what's been happening in most of the World Heritage Sites and Museum, which is part of the larger attractions when people visit a country, most of them are closed permanently at this stage because they cannot fund and they cannot pay the salary of the worker, and also for the maintenance. There is no one visiting them. So this is going to be a huge area that we will need to recover later on when we're opening again the border for tourism. We need to make like creative program to not only make people enjoying the architecture or your standard performance, like when you're visiting Bali, that is a cultural performance. So it's not going to be like that again. you need to really find a interesting experience and interesting personal experience within the heritage. I think that's the reason why, if you see what's been happening in Indonesian tourism ministry this day, they're trying to create more of we call it desa wisata, or how do you call it? Desa wisata means like a village for tourism, village that is built and developed into a tourism which offers you a unique experience. So things like that will be one of the strategy that used by most of the governments in the world. They will review and revisit their policy about what kinds of tourism activity and tourism program that is safe to be experienced by people, because people will still be aware whether is it going to be safe for me to visit this country or not, or what kinds of activity that is interesting for me to see beyond the actual activity that's been ongoing before the pandemic start. So basically, those things that we need to pay attention. And as a youth, definitely now is actually a time for you to promote your own place. People is not traveling now, but you can still promote your place. So later on, your promotion material will be used or will be served as a reference for people who wants to travel. For example, if you are coming from a small village in for example, in Sulawesi, there is a very attractive and unique sites, like natural and heritage sites like a Lorelindu or other places which is not really famous yet. So this is your time actually for you to more promote the place, and then to give some insights to the local governments on how you can make it more attractive later on. So when it's open again for tourism, your place is ready to receive the tourism from outside. So I think that's for the discussion for today, the presentation for today. So we can have more discussions later on in the question and answer sections. Thank you, Janli. Thank you, No.
Okay, thank you, Noah, for your sharing and great sharing decision. And right now I have one question or two questions from Richard Aldris. He asked about tourism heritage and how heritage tourism can increase the tourism awareness and engagement during COVID-19 pandemic. It is still work or not?
Okay. So this is very good questions. Thank you for question. Thank you for throwing the question. Like other tourism spot, for now, the heritage tourism, mostly heritage sites in the world, as I said, are closed. But now is the time to revisit and then time to rethink the promotion strategy and to see whether the heritage tourism that's been put on the place on your country can still be run as usual, which I don't think so. So there are couples of responsibility that's been going on and has been taken by governments, definitely. And I think as a youth, this is a very good opportunity, as I said, for you to get to know more about the heritage in your areas, and then to promote it, make a content in your social media. You guys are really good at making a content and making it viral. So this is actually a good place for you to unlock your heritage potential in your own city. So maybe we don't know, like from for taking for example from our experience in Indonesia Hidden Heritage, what we do is we're not visiting a famous place. We're visiting another places like a small town and unknown cities, but actually they kept a very potential treasure. Like just recently, we're just visiting a West Bandung area. Well, Bandung is actually quite famous, but West Bandung as a regency is not really that. It's not really that famous. Apart from maybe if you're from Indonesia, you're well known with a place called Lembang. It's also in West Bandung, but it's on a different theme. what we do is we are looking for the heritage sites potential. So turns out there are many heritage sites potential, which is mind blowing. Still not developed yet, still not promoted yet by either by the government because of lack of funding usually, or because by the younger people or younger generation, they don't know yet that that places exist. And there's also one interesting case, like I mentioned before, in central Sulawesi, in Palu, there is a very amazing megalithicum sites called Lorelindo, but not many people knows about this. Apart from its like thousands and thousand years of history, so these kinds of things that you can find in your backyard, like your own heritage. I pretty much believe in Cambodia and other part of Southeast Asia, there are lots and hundreds or maybe thousands of heritage place that is unknown and untouched yet. We don't need to things so complicated about the policy that's been issued by government. We only need to do what we can do, and I think the best way that young generation, that youth can do is helping with the promotion and helping with the feedback, because sometimes government also doesn't aware that, oh, I need to do this to improve this heritage site. Oh, actually, if I develop this heritage site, it can boost the tourists to come to my place. But there are certain standards that has to be put in place, and because of young generation is more open-minded, you travel to many places, you see lots of vlogging video about traveling all over the world, then you can make a huge comparison, you can make a better comparison when you give input and you make a creative content for your heritage sites. I think that's one of the things that we can do now. Don't forget to vaccine yourself because that will be very much helpful for the overall tourism industry to recover fastly if people get vaccinated. I think so far that's what more relevant answer for what actually, not the country, but what actually we as a citizen, you as the youth can do to help recover the tourism industry for now. Just do the one simple thing: promote your place, promote your heritage, vaccinate yourself. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much for your great answer. I think maybe the participant can get your answer by specifically. And for the next, I would like to invite Mr. Magraoy. Mr. Magraoy, are you here?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Okay, okay. Right now you can take your time to do your presentation. Please welcome.
Yes, thank you. Can everybody hear me clearly and see my slides clearly? Okay. Okay, thank you, Ruang International, for having me today. And it is my honor to be a presenter for this topic, COVID crisis and challenges for tourism development in Cambodia. So before starting into the topic, I would like to have a little introduction to myself. My name is Makara Oi. I am a sophomore of law at the University of Cambodia. And I work as a scholarship manager at Cambodia Scholarship Center. And I will join the lawyers legal BMC legal advisor and law office in the next week. So let's start to our topic. Okay, so before jumping to the really the main meaning of the topic, I would like to show you a little bit of the data and the COVID-19 in Cambodia. So the total cases of COVID-19 in Cambodia, according to the civil servant document on the 2nd of July, 2021, the total cases is 52,350 cases. The recovered was 45,508, and the death report was 660 deaths in Cambodia. This source is from the civil servant document, and another source is from World Health Organizations, which the new cases happened on the 1st of July was 1,130, and all confirmed cases was 50,385. And as you know that COVID-19, we call it data, is the huge impact of every people who is scaring the new kind of virus. And also in Cambodia, there are 22 cases of COVID-19 data, and which all of us is a little bit nervous of it, even our government. And the cases was recorded on 29th of June 2021 on the workers returning from Thailand. Those are illegal workers which are returning by the land borders in Thailand. The source was from the Ministry of Health of Cambodia. Okay, after I have been telling you the COVID cases and what is happening right now, the impact of COVID-19 and the infected of the people in Cambodia, I would like to go further about a little bit of briefly descriptions about tourism in Cambodia. So first of all, I would like to have to tell you that Angkor Wat, the ancient history of Cambodia, was the top one most important history temple in the world by TripAdvisor. The 3-year in raw was 2014 to 2017, and also Siem Reap Angkor got the top one in the world, top destinations in 2015 by the Lonely Planet Ultimate Travel List. Also, our government, the government of Cambodia, the government of Cambodia received a world champion of Cambodia is the world destinations in 2016 on the 16th of June 2016, given by European Union Council on Tourism and Trade. So this is a little bit briefly about our tourism in Cambodia, and I would like to tell you a little bit more about tourism in Cambodia. This one is in Phnom Penh. It's only alone in Phnom Penh city. Phnom Penh has registered as the world's city of culture and tourism on 19th of February 2018 at 9:05 a.m. by Dr. Mircea Constantinescu. He was the president of European Tourism Academy, and also our Prime Minister Hun Sen was the world ambassador for tourism and developing tourist destinations. He was given this ambassador on the 9th of December 2017 by ECTT. And you know that there's a huge number of tourists come to Phnom Penh, was 950,000 alone in only Phnom Penh. So what did they do in Phnom Penh city? So first of all, the most and the important places in Phnom Penh was the Royal Palace, right here in the middle. The Royal Palace was located in the riverfront of Cambodia, and one of the only most famous places when it comes to Phnom Penh city. And the second of all, about the killing fields. The killing field has a long and vast history of Cambodia, and it's such most interest to tourists when it comes to Cambodia was the Killing Field museums. And next is about the riverside, which the tourists can take a tour around the riverside. They can see the whole view of the city of the Phnom Penh city, the tall buildings, and also the Royal Palace from the other side. And next is about Cambodian independent monuments, which is located in the middle of the road, and a lot of people traveling by, and such a really great view for not even tourists, even domestic tourists are addicted to independent monument too. And next one is about the spirit of Phnom Penh city. When we heard about Phnom Penh city, we might know that Wat Phnom is the spirit of Phnom Penh city. So what is Wat Phnom? Wat Phnom is like the history of Phnom Penh city, and it also the best history for tourist attraction to come in. Next is about the night market in the middle of Phnom Penh, where you can enjoy the nightlife, and this attract a lot of tourists and also domestic tourists to come into the night market in Phnom Penh city. So the next is about the National Museum, which has a lot of like ancient things stored in, and also a lot of history in the national museums. And the last one is about our new markets. It's not a new market, but it's just the name, and it attracts a lot of people from international and national level. All right, I have briefly a little bit about the COVID-19 in Cambodia and also the tourism in Cambodia. Right now, we jumped into our topic. So how bad was the COVID-19 impact tourism in Cambodia? So first of all, I would like to tell you that there are 2,865 tourism businesses in Cambodia were suspended or closes temporarily. This is bad for the people. As you know that tourism is 12.1% of the country's GDP, and there are 2/3 out of 70,000 people lost their job during the COVID-19 in Cambodia. And there's an estimate about like $5 billion has been lost to the pandemic through the collapse of tourism in Cambodia right now. The record was on the 1st of July. So some tourist destinations in Cambodia are also closed. For example, the museums, the royal palaces. So if the tourist destinations are closed, how can the tourists go to visit the place? So this is a really bad for tourists to visit some of the history places in Cambodia. And last one about the most impact of tourism in Cambodia is that the land borders as Cambodian Laos, Cambodian Thailand, Cambodian Vietnam land borders are also closed. But there are still some people who is illegally crossing the land border between Cambodia and Thailand, which is right now founding like 22 cases of Delta COVID from Thailand. And the government is taking so much control of it, of the illegal crossing border. So what are the more important things that impact or changing the mind of the tourists when it comes to Cambodia? This seems to be more challenges for tourists to come to Cambodia than those cases I have mentioned above. So first of all, when you arrive in Cambodia, you have to do yourself quarantine for about 14 days. I believe this is not only in Cambodia. I believe this is anywhere in the world, which when you crossing the border by plane or by land or by water, you have to do yourself a quarantine for about 14 days. And what more important was you will spend your money for around $2,000 upon arrival in Cambodia. So what is your money at $2,000 spending in Cambodia when you arrived? It was for mandatory of COVID-19 test, and also all of your money will be used to pay for your accommodations during quarantine and testing and transportation from the airport to the hotel. So first of all, when you arrive to Cambodia, you will have to spend yourself for about $2,000. Okay, the next is that you have to possess a negative test of COVID-19 72 hours before arriving in Cambodia. The last day you will have to, at the time of appeal, it is required regardless of the vaccine status. If you have a vaccine, it is a little bit more easier for you to enter Cambodia. So all of this is usable. I think it spent a lot of days and times when it comes to Cambodia, no matter you are a tourist or you are a domestic traveler. When you come from the other country, you also have to do quarantine and also spend a lot of money on that. And I think this is the other reasons of tourists impact when they come to Cambodia. They will spend their times and also spend their money, a lot of money when it comes to Cambodia, just first arrive at the airport. So how is the future of tourism in Cambodia post-COVID or after COVID-19? What are the plans of our government on the COVID after the COVID-19 has ended? When is the COVID-19 ended? No, nobody's gonna know. But we have our plan already for if the COVID-19 has been passed. Cambodia's tourism industry, we can start by just pushing a domestic tourism, ecotourism and adventure types, which is really much interesting on Cambodian people, which is they like to do a lot of adventures right now to the natural places in Cambodia. And the second of all, the tourism Ministry of Tourism has formed a roadmap plans which to recover the tourism industry post COVID-19. It was a great initiative by ministry to have a private sector's input while performing their roadmap. And Cambodia tourism, I think Cambodia's tourism stakeholders should focus on improving the way that they receive the tourists. They improve the social order and exploring new products in order to create a creative regarding to the packages or something else. I think this is for me, for myself, I think they should. And us Cambodians, we know a lot that on social medias, a lot of people has been posting on social media or Phnom Sa or Indokiri or what they travel a lot, you know. There is a report about like 190,000 Cambodian and international tourists were recorded visiting resorts and tourism site and ecotourism site in Cambodia, even though there is a huge impact of COVID-19. So why there's many people traveling during COVID-19 in Cambodia? Well, new health and safety protocols for me is the most essential to gain trust of people in ensuring that it is truly safe to travel. So people trust the government's policies in fighting with COVID-19, and they think that it's really safe to travel right now. And also the UNWTO states that the trust is the new currency. If people trust that the government and the tourism sector prioritize the health of people, they will unquestionably travel again. So I think the first and the most important point, why do people in Cambodia start traveling while there's a lot of COVID-19 affected in the country? Because they trust the government policies and they trust the government that taking care of the COVID-19 crisis. So you might know a little bit that Ms. Nova has been stated about the vaccine in Cambodia. So what was it really happening, like the vaccine in Cambodia right now? According to my world website, the share of population fully vaccinated in COVID-19, and this data was on the 23rd of June. It's not updated yet on the 4th of July. As you know, as you see in the picture that Singapore has the highest vaccinated rated in the Southeast Asia. It's almost like 35.8% of its populations. And also in the data show that Cambodia is the second most successful vaccinated to its people. It's about 17.9% of the total population. And, you know, according to the Prime Minister Hun Sen, Cambodia will receive more than 29.8 million doses of vaccine, including 7 million doses from the COVAX and 3 million doses from Australia and 20 million doses from China. And, you know, currently on the 2nd of July recorded, there are 4 million people and 42% of the Cambodian populations were infected, no matter the first and the second doses of vaccines already. So these data show a lot of positive for Cambodia. COVID-19 will be recovered soon, and I strongly believe that the COVID-19 in Cambodia will be well controlled, and the people will be more vaccinated faster. So this is it. I think this is the end of my presentations. I would like to thanks for your listening and participation for my topic. If you have any questions, please raise your questions accordingly. I'm so happy for your question.
Okay, thank you very much for your fruitful sharing, Mr. Magre. And I heard from some problem of COVID-19 on the tourism industry in general in Cambodia as well. And I have one question. My question focus on the tourism industry in Cambodia. How do you know, or what do you think about the most sector for tourism industry in Cambodia that affected from the COVID-19, like as a hotel, like a restaurant, like as well? You know about that?
Oh, the most affecting
Yeah,
sector.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Like I've been showing you that for me, I think the hotels and like yeah, the hotels and restaurants at especially at Siem Reap, which you have known that uh, um, the most attract tourists, and also the market where a lot of people go to shop, or if they can just like going to visit, is now closed. For I have mentioned like 2000 tourism business were closed. Business here, I mean to the hotels and also the supermarket, the market in the tourism sector. I'm sorry.
One more. Right now, the Cambodian government they need to propose the strategy to control the COVID-19, and you think it is very important for tourism industry in Cambodia that government focus on the control or on the take care about the tourism industry in Cambodia? How do you think about that? What the strategies that Ministry of Tourism or Cambodian government should do to control the COVID-19 on tourism industry in Cambodia?
Okay, I think you have known a little bit about that news that our government has supported like the hotels and the restaurant. Like before, they did not open the salary for the staff. So it means that they lost their job. But the government has supported them by giving them 50% of their salaries. And then also like they have supported the hotels and the restaurant that 50% of their benefits too. So I think the hotels and the restaurant might not be like closes again or suspended, and especially our domestic traveler has been traveled a lot, as you know that, but not a lot more, just a little bit, a lot. I know. So the government, this is only one of policies of our government. And, you know, I have mentioned that we have like roadmap policies that our government has been adopted to have the tourism sector.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. McGrath, for your expression about your great answer for the participant to be here. And for the next, I would like to invite Mr. Arif Bachita for take your time to do your presentation. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. So my name is actually Arif Bahtiar. So you call me Arif Bahtiar. So my name is Arif. I'm from Palu, Indonesia. Anyways, thank you so much for Ruang International that having me here, and it's really honor and really glad could meet Noh Nave, Mr. Pro Noh Nave, and also Mrs. Nova as Executive Director of Indonesian Hidden Heritage, and also our bro as well, I Makara. So that's really interesting presentation though. So today I'm gonna be as a speaker to show you how I could be a travel blogger, and also how I could be a tour guide at the same time. I mean, to be honest, I kind of nervous actually because I haven't spoken English for a while. So I hope I could try my best to speak in English right now. So I kind of really want to share. So this one, share. Okay. So this is actually my first business in tourism sector, and actually at that time I started this business since if I'm not mistaken in 2015. The reason why I really want to become a tour guide at that time is because back then in 2010 in my city, in Palu City though, we had lack of information about tourism, especially in Palu City. So it's really hard to find someone who could be guiding for a visitor in Indonesia and also for outside Indonesia. And actually, to make this website, actually, I need to make a research for a full year. And this is actually the profile and etc. So if you want to visit Palu City, so I put every single information in my website. So this website is actually officially open since 2015. Yeah, I mean, the experience to become a tour guide, to be honest, I actually a student of College of Social and Political Science, so I have no background about tourism at that time because I took Social and Political Science and also public policy as my major at that time. But I really want to contribute myself to build this my city for, especially in the tourist side. So yeah, this is kind of overall of my website, and this is actually the fan page. Yeah, this one. So I put it all the package of tour guides, my package of as a tour guide in this in every single social media that I could handle it. And this is one of this. This is like Togean Island in Palu, no, in Palu City, but in Central Sulawesi, like this one. And this is actually the moment when I got a scholarship short course to learn about sustainable tourism in Australia, like in 2017. So every single thing is pretty cool. But if you're talking about the challenge that I faced as a person who work in the tourism sector, we faced two challenges. The first time is the first thing that we face in Palu City though is about the disaster that happened in 28 September 2018. So I'm going to show you how bad the disaster impact is. So this is the hotel. This is before tsunami, earthquake, and liquefaction happened, and this is after it. And this one, this is actually our icon city though, actually back then, but it's already it was already broken and destroyed. And this is the hospital. This is the mall. And this is another hotel. This is the, yeah. Okay. So this is before the tsunami happened, actually. So before the tsunami or the disaster happened, and also the COVID-19 come, I mean, Palu City is gonna increase the attraction of people to come to Palu City though. And actually, why I really want to become a tour guide, even though I don't have any knowledge to become a tour guide back then, it's because I really want to contribute myself to develop my my city or my hometown though. So, okay, this video actually the situation before the disaster happening. And This one, the Pusat Laut Donggala. This is like really interest places in Central Sulawesi also. So this is actually really really good to visitor for the first time to come to Central Sulawesi. And yeah, I actually already did this like since 2015, just like I said before. And I already had tourists from Sweden, Indonesia, as well as Switzerland, Singapore, Denmark, Korea. They came here. And oh yeah, talking about a tour guide, I also as a travel blogger actually. And to become a travel blogger, it's something, it's a one different story. So this is actually my very first blog. I put every single thing I know in my blog. And also I put when I visit some places, just like this one, Wakatobi Island in Indonesia. So I put every single things that I feel and the challenges and how much money do you need to visit those places. And even though, I mean, I also like sleep at the airport. I mean, I try every single moment in every single trip that I take. So this is the moment though to visit Wakatobi. And I put every single things, like if you want to go those places, you need to pay this one, or this is the package, and this is the every single thing, or this is the contact that you can contact if you want to visit those places. So the point is, travel blogger is a hobby that people pay you to do that. I mean, it's really fun. It's really, really amazing job. I mean, I really recommend it to people to do this job actually, to become a travel blogger, because it was really, really fun. And wait a minute. So become a travel blogger, when I put my first article on ICYIP. If you see this on screen, ICYIP in the past, like in 2014, 15, or 16, was really huge platform in Indonesia. They got 15 million readers every single month. So my article at that time get permission to post in this platform. And surprisingly, I get more than 1,000 shares about my trip to Wakatobi Island. So yeah. So this is ICYIP looks like, the website. So they will put every single things that you need to prepare before you go somewhere. So that's a travel blogger is. And if you ask me how many places that I already go, it's lots of places outside and inside Indonesia. I also visit India already because I got invitation to international conference there. So that's pretty much it. And yeah, in Palu City back then in 2016, actually, our tourism increase is really crazy because the solar eclipse happened in Palu City like in 2016. Yeah, if I don't mistaken. Yeah, in 2016, and it get lots of tourists for all around the world. Like all the hotel was really, I mean, every single hotel was full because every single tourist come here like in 2016 actually. So I need to bold this statement, like I've never had the education about tourism before, but this is but I take this step because I really want to share the beauty of my city, because I feel blessed to born here, because if you want to go to the beach, beautiful beach, you just take your motorcycle and 10 minutes you will go to the beach. I mean, that's something, the beauty that I really want to share. But at that time, I don't know how to manage, and I learned about this like by myself. So, and fortunately it works. So this is Palu City actually, pretty much before the earthquake hit the Palu City, and also tsunami. I mean, we faced triple disaster. For your information, we faced tsunami, earthquake, and liquefaction at the same time. So that's the first challenge before the COVID-19 come and hit Palu City again, after we already more better. But the COVID-19 makes our, we try to need to work hard like before. So this is Tanjung Karang Beach, and pretty much it. So I already show you, all of you guys. So yeah. And talking about the travel blogger, actually, this job it's kind of really neat. You need to resist or resistant. You need to always try your article and put everywhere. So when you get a good article and people pay attention for it, they will pay you again to make another article. And that was happened to me. So right now I also get a contract for the government here to explore this province more, and then I made they pay me to what is it called, to explore the Central Sulawesi, and I need to make their the content for their website. So this is actually the government's in Palu City website. So if every single tourist want to know the information, they will check this one. And all of this is all of this is like my articles. So to become a travel blogger is something I've never planned before. It just happened organically, and surprisingly it works, and people like already know that travel blogger as a job exists. And I really want to collaborate sometimes if in Cambodia has a travel blogger as well. So talking about the COVID-19, of course, the COVID-19 really hit us in Palu City as well. And I mean, after the disaster happened, and we tried to kind of raise our economic with the tourism again, and it works. But COVID-19 comes in 2020, and it makes our job become more double. So fortunately, beside as a tour guide and also as a travel blogger, I also have another what is it called? I also have another job actually as a journalist as well, and yeah, I mean, and also as an entrepreneur as well. So yeah, if you ask me like how about the tourists, like the visitor, I mean, no, we don't have any visitor at all. Our airport in Palu City right now is closed to prevent the COVID-19, and yeah, it's really hit us. But at the same time, I get a job as a travel blogger as well, to explore other places that people not really recognized before, and I need to make an article like this and promote in this website. So if COVID-19 will definitely done, they will get the new attraction places So this is one of my articles. So this is like, and this is the visitor from Switzerland. They come to Palu City and I bring them here. So yeah, this is like 30 minutes from Palu City. So yeah, this is like when the New Year's like day. So if you guys want to come to Palu, please just come and contact me. And yeah, this one as well. That's pretty much it. And I also really surprisingly, because I just put this article on the website of the government and get a lot of views. Like you can see here, like we got 3,000 more views, and this one 3,000, and this is 5,000. I mean, this is like 8,000. So travel blogger actually travel blogger is really important to increase the visitor to come to your city if you do this like professionally. This one. So yeah, this is like the BBC News. So this is happened in 2018, like really give a bad impact for our tourism, not only to the tourism and also the economy itself. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So if you want to ask me about how to become a travel blogger or how to how much money that you could get if you to become a travel blogger or tour guide or every single thing that you want to question, it's okay. I'm gonna answer it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much for your great express your sharing. And right now we have one question from I don't know. You are already right for answer.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Right now, how the question is how about the digital tourism development in Biocity, Indonesia? Because that is one of the alternative way during COVID-19 pandemic. And what do you think about that? Clear question?
Yeah, I got the question.
How about the digital tourism development in Biocity? Yes. What do you think about that?
Okay. So the digital tourism, I mean, actually, after the COVID-19 hits Palu City tourism, actually, we try to kind of reach domestic tourism. And also we try to kind of use digital marketing. And if you ask how big the government here and also all the tourist sector use the digital marketing to promote this tourism, actually we use a lot. We use our platform and lots of people and lots of the government itself. They use like the platform like the Instagram and also like even TikTok. They used to promote the new attraction places in Palu City itself. So I think it's same like how big impact to compare between the disaster and also COVID-19. I think it both same. They give a really bad impact for the tourism, but I think COVID-19 is more I think it's more high because it really give a low impact for the tourists to come to Palu City compare when the disaster happened. I mean, when the disaster like happened in 2018, the visitor like more coming like triple or double and triple tourists come to Palu City. I mean to help our city, and also at the same time to visit some places that attract after this disaster. But the COVID-19, it's really different, and I think I think digital promotion is something that we can use right now effectively. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Arif. And right now because the time is limited and we have the last session, we open for all the participants to have a question to the three speakers for today. And for the Q&A question, we have 10 minutes to complete our program for today. And all the participants can have your expression and to have the question to the speaker that you want. And you can mention your name and mention your speaker that you direct to them and ask the question that you want. Thank you very much. Please, participants have any question to ask.
So me first. I want to ask you about, have you considered about the virtual tourism or not? I mean online tourism, that we do not go physically, but we do on virtual.
Oh, pardon?
I want to ask you about do you know anything about the virtual tourism? I mean online tourism, that people go online and visiting anywhere.
Yeah.
Have you ever know about that? Can you tell us some?
Yeah.
That we don't go directly. We just stay home and make tour to anywhere as a team. Yeah.
Okay, I got a picture. So if you talking the virtual things, if you talking about Palu City itself, we don't try those things. But if you're talking about the Jakarta and also Bali, the Ministry of Tourism of Indonesia already did it. I mean, they give you the link, and if you click it, you will definitely get the access to visit those places, like 40, I don't know. I mean, like really high quality picture or sensation when you try to do those virtual things. But if you ask me, like the virtual trip also happen in Palu City, it's not yet. It's not happening here. But I wish I think that's pretty good idea to implement those virtual trip in here. I think that's really pretty good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. One more question.
Yes.
Does it safe in Indonesia to visit? Is that okay? Is it safe, secure, and safety to visit in any place in Indonesia? Right? No problem.
Yeah, I think for Indonesian to reach, because we are archipelago country, I mean, yeah, we could like visit another city or other city in Indonesia, but if I'm not mistaken, if people outside Indonesia try to kind of come into Indonesia, it's still like not have access and permission, because the COVID-19 in Indonesia is still crazy. Like it hit 2 million people get COVID here. So I don't know if the government already opened the gate for foreign visitor to visit Indonesia. So yeah, I think it's not happening yet here to visitor outside Indonesia to visit Indonesia.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much for the good answer to the respondent, to the participant. And it's here this time to answer the question. We have one question from Randy Pilimpong. The question about like Singapore, we can prepare the Cambodia and Indonesia with the Singapore, because Singapore, the government was released said the COVID-19 is a general issue. But the question is, how about if Indonesia and Cambodia adopt the Singapore government policy to make the COVID-19 virus it's a general virus, so it is possible of work for remote the tourism sector. What do you think about that? And do you agree or don't agree? For all the three speakers, thank you. Okay, the first from Magra.
I'm sorry, I did not get this question so far.
Okay. Because maybe last week the government in Singapore, they said the COVID-19 pandemic is a general issue or general crisis. But the question like that from Randy Polipong say about how if Indonesia and Cambodia adopt the Singapore government policy like the COVID-19 is a general crisis. And do you think about that? Do you agree or don't agree if Cambodia or Indonesia to adapt like Singaporean policy? To promote tourism in country.
Before starting my answering this question, I would like to sorry because I haven't known about the current policies of Singapore, and as you have explained me a little bit, I think it is first of all, the government should learn more about the policies of Singaporean government has been adopted, and they have to get to know more, and they have to study more about the policies adopted to re-promote tourism in Cambodia. And I think we also have our policies, like I have been stated in my presentations. So what if we adopt like 3 policies together in Cambodia? What do you think is going to happen? I think we should, the government should restudy, or we cannot adopt 3 policies together, but we just have integrate, like mixing it together. If they think it is good. For me, I think it's better to have an integration policies between the policies we have now and the policies that the Singaporean government has been adopted. We should learn, and also not only in Singapore, but the policies has been adopted around the world to the countries which has been successfully fight the COVID-19. Thank you. This is my answer.
Okay, thank you very much, Agre. And the question I would like to deliver to Noah. Ms. Noah, have your idea to share for the question?
Yes, I actually put some of my thought on the comment box already. So I think there is a strong reason why Singapore take that measure. There is already a calculations from a Singapore government before they announce that they will treat COVID like a usual pandemic. And one of the important key, as I mentioned, is the success rate of vaccination in Singapore. So if your country, like Indonesia, for example, is not successful yet to vaccinate at least 70% of our citizens, don't try this at home, mates. So this is a really risky decision. As you can see now, I believe that the audience from Indonesia here also following a news in Indonesia, like lots of people infected every day, lots of people pass away every day. So we cannot, in Indonesia, we cannot run through this policy yet. Later on, after the Indonesian government successfully distribute vaccinations to at least 70%, on my opinions, to Indonesian people, then we can consider to move to the new normal. But for now, okay, let's focus on the vaccination first before we talk about the reopening tourism, rebranding the tourism. But of course, like I said before, it doesn't mean that we cannot or we shouldn't do anything about our tourism. We as an individual, as youth, as a travel blogger, we can still make a content every day. We can still make a daily promotional activities every day. If we are happy to make a virtual tour to promote the place, we can also do that, promoting your tourism spot, your heritage sites, your amazing culinary experience through a vlog, through a TikTok, through Instagram reel or Instagram video. There are lots of activities they can you can do on social media to help the government, to help the people relive in their industrial tourism. But to treat COVID as a usual or ordinary flu for Indonesia specifically nowadays, I don't think it can work. Later on, when, as I said, when the vaccination rate is already higher than Cambodia, so maybe we can think about that. I think for now, for all the countries who's not reaching at least half of the population vaccinated, just don't try this policy. Other way, it will cost you lots of things. So I don't think we can do it for Indonesia or other countries that still needs to work on their vaccinations program. But for those countries who already passed the vaccination program, like Spain, French, and then now Singapore, think about it. Go ahead, you're already strong. But for other country, put it on hold. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Abba, you have idea to share about the question?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talking about the vaccine, I actually get the vaccine already twice last month, and in Palu City as well. The government tried to kind of promote to the society like the vaccine is free right now. You could go the public health and you will get the vaccine for free. So I think that's a really positive step to this country to prevent the number of the COVID-19 here. So I think, and I mean, the challenge itself comes from the society itself. I mean, some of them like don't really trust about the vaccine. Like vaccine is really, I mean, this vaccine it's safe or not. I mean, there's still lots of question between in the middle of them. So for me, I mean, I believe the government. So I think this is like the way that they could choose right now in this situation to vaccinate like lots of people. And for your information, like in Palu City itself, actually the school will definitely open, but because the teacher here they don't get the vaccine, it because they have some severe in their body, like penyakit apa sih ya kayak?
Disease, illness.
Yeah, they have some illness that they don't pretty much like they get the vaccine itself. I mean they don't fit in some requirement to get the vaccine. So I think that's the challenge itself. I mean that's the challenge to the government here to educate the people like this is safe and this is like for our country to face this COVID-19. How about the Cambodia actually? I'm kind of curious about like the vaccine and how the government to reach people there to get the vaccine.
I think the next question is interesting, Nafi. How should I call you? No, Nafi.
Okay. Because I think that's time is limited, but we want have one question to complete our program today, and I think we can deliver to the three speakers and how we maintain and prepare prepare the society to be able to develop the online tourism thing. How do you think about that?
I think the online tourism things here maybe refer to virtual tours when it comes to traveling activities, or the creative economy platform where you sell you sell your product, tourism product, a heritage related products through market to the marketplace. Maybe things like that, I think. If that's the question, then there is no online or no virtual activities that can replace.
Yeah.
I mentioned this, that can replace an offline activities.
Yeah.
The real experience will not be able replaced by the online or by the virtual. You cannot sense, you cannot smell, you cannot feel the sunshines on your hair, and then you cannot smell the delicious food on the street, and you cannot feel the attractiveness of passing bustling cities. So we cannot maintain the enthusiasm forever, but here's the tips. Here's the tips. People love to watch a short videos. Like I enjoy watching short videos, 1 to 3 minutes, 15 minutes at max. It's if it's really interesting. So what can you do if you are a travel blogger, if you are a traveling enthusiast, if you're a heritage enthusiast? Makes a really good content, makes a creative, funny, engaging content, so that people can still enjoying your city through your eyes, through your experience, through your video blog, to your writing. So it can still be there, the willingness to visit one day after this pandemic is just another history on the page, on the book page. We can again revisit it offline. So I think that's one of the most sensible that we can do now, because going to webinar, going to virtual tour, people get a burnout. We don't really enjoy it. But if you do it through the social media, just 1 minute, 3 minutes, 15 minutes video at max, and it's engaging, it's funny, and you're so entertaining, then the people can still see you and see the content that you make, and then people will feel engaging and happy. You bring happiness to people. Otherwise, everyone will get bored. So I think this is really good for young people to keep producing the content, keep making a creative things about your city. We cannot force people to, to still watching what we're doing, but if we are making a consistent content, then maybe it can help to, just to keep the fire inside the people to travel again. I think that's from my opinion. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Arif, have idea to share?
I think she already take every single thing that I really want to answer. Actually, I mean, we are really same page. I mean, we're really same page. Every single thing that she said is what I say. But I really agree with Miss Nova said. Like, if you, I mean, there is no like online tourism. I don't think that we can call those things like online tourism. That's something out of my mind. Actually, I agree. I mean, if you want to go to the trip, like to take a holiday, that's the real tourist things. I mean, so but just try to kind of enjoy the place around you, and if you get the new attraction places, just try to kind of explore it. I think that's more pretty much it. And you need to don't forget to the COVID-19 protocol. You need to always like use the mask, or like use the hand sanitizer, like make a space with others people, like and stranger. I think that's more effective to tour the new place that you really want to go in your around. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Please, Margaret.
Okay. First of all, I'm in 100% with Ms. Nova ideas that we cannot like the digital tourism cannot replace the real tourism, right? So, but we can like watching videos, but feel like it, because it's up to the people who's making videos and making vlogs about tourism somewhere in our countries. But for me, I think digital tourism in Cambodia is a little bit downward, not the upward. For people who like to watch videos and watching vlogs or like going on adventure in Cambodia, we all like it. We all like it, I could say that. But the problem is that YouTuber or vlogger or like social influencer in Cambodia right now is start to lose their profit from making videos on YouTube or Facebook, because YouTube right now has cutting the like the profit from Cambodia YouTuber or a social influencer right now. They're just preparing like before they have like fully 100% benefit from like the ads or the people watching on YouTube channel. But right now, just 77% of the benefit they get before. So like they are losing that benefit. And our government, the Ministry of Trade, I guess, is helping doing a negotiation with YouTube and also Facebook to regain back their benefit, full benefit. And I think our young generations is right now fully interested in like doing a vlog or sometimes being a gamer online. We are fully interested, but what stopping us was our benefit. We spend our time, we spend our energy, like climbing on the mountains and watching, making videos for people to watch. But what we get, our benefit was just so less. So that is the like impact on the YouTubers, influencer in Cambodia.
Oh, nice.
Okay, thank you very much for all the speakers that express the warm answer to the participant today. And this time, because it is time limited, I would like to invite Mr. Jenny to take your time to close the remark for our webinar today.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Nafi, for help us to moderate this webinar session. Also, I would like to thank you very much to all the participants, especially to all the speakers who come and present here with the beautiful, grateful insight for us, especially to Miss Nova as the Executive Director of Hidden Heritage. Thank you so much for the availability to join this webinar session. To our Cambodian speakers, Mr. Makha Uy, thank you very much for coming and sharing valuable insight with us. And also for the Indonesian speakers, Mr. Arif Bakhtiar, coming and sharing your valuable insight for us. Hopefully, we all that we discussed today more knowledge and more benefit for us to promote tourism awareness both in Indonesia and also in Cambodia. So I invite to all the participants also to open your video. We take a photo session. Once more, I would like to invite to all participants to open your video, and we will take a photo session. Okay, Miss Alicia, maybe, or Miss Rina, Miss Chaniful, Mr. Muhammad. Okay, okay. Maybe Miss Alicia, Miss Rina. Okay. Okay, are you ready, guys? Okay, I think we need to add spotlight. So we enter the. Okay, wait. Okay, wait. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Is there any participants to want to join us? Okay. 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the last. Okay, wait. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Miss Nova. Thank you, Mr. Nari,
Hi,
for
everybody. Nice to have this
Thank you,
discussion
Mr.
with
Arif.
you. Keep in touch through Instagram and others.
Thank you, Mr.
Let's keep in touch.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ruang International, for having us.
Thank you, Mr. Arif. Thank you, Mr. Makara.